Hello and Jai Hind everyone. I am Arya Shri Solanki from Force Defense Academy and I have brought you another lecture topic for today, and that is India and Sri Lanka relation. Now we all know that India and Sri Lanka for now are having a very good tie, but India's and Sri Lanka's relation has always been up and down a hill. Sometimes it has been very good and sometimes it has been a matter of clash. So we will discuss everything about all the ups and all the downs in this lecturate video of today. Also, new batches are starting from 4th of February in Force Defense Academy. For more details, contact the number in the description below. Let's move ahead to our lecturate. Now, as you all know, we every day and all the time start our lecturate with a current event. Okay? So what is the current event? For now, current event is India is helping Sri Lanka as the country is going through an economic crisis. Now we all know that Sri Lanka is facing blunder and huge economic crisis, and it is in a very difficult situation. So India is everyone's friend. India is all the way always there to provide a helping hand to everyone. Okay? So what India is doing? India is helping Sri Lanka in its crisis. Okay? India's help during the crisis has improved the relations between the countries. Now, we will study how the relations deteriorated and how the relations went back up. तो हम देखते हैं India and Sri Lanka maintained good relations till 1980s. 1980s तक इंडिया और श्रीलंका के बहुत अच्छे रिलेशंस थे. 1980s में इंडियाज इन्वॉल्वमेंट इन श्रीलंका सिविल वॉर टू हेल्प तमिल्स इन श्रीलंका कॉज कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स बिटवीन बोथ द कंट्रीज. नाउ वी ऑल नो दैट श्रीलंका हैज श्रीलंकन तमिल्स एंड सम पार्ट ऑफ इंडियन तमिल्स एज वेल. तो जब श्रीलंका में सिविल वॉर हुआ तो इंडिया ने इंटरप्ट किया टू हेल्प द तमिल्स आउट, एंड that led to the clashes between India and Sri Lanka. All right, so that was one peak moment of clash. Moving on, the growing influence of China on Sri Lanka also caused conflicts between India and Sri Lanka. Now we all know that China was also involved with Sri Lanka for a lot of time, and China and India are not on so many good terms. So once the Tamil thing happened and then the Chinese influence on Sri Lanka happened, then our ties with Sri Lanka suffered a little bit. Moving on, Indian and Sri Lankan fishing communities used to fish in the waters in the Palk Bay Straits. Okay, this is very important. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? But after the Maritime Boundary Agreement was signed in 1976 to define international maritime boundary, many Indian fishermen are often arrested. तो पहले जो पाल स्ट्रेट बे में जो फिशिंग होती थी वहाँ पे कोई एग्रीमेंट के तहत बाउंड्री नहीं थी, बट आफ्टर द एग्रीमेंट हैपेंड इन 1976 देयर वाज अ बाउंड्री देयर. और अब बहुत बार आफ्टर ऑल ऑफ दीज क्लैशेस व्हाट यूज्ड टू हैपन, श्रीलंकन पुलिस यूज्ड टू कैच एंड कैप्चर द इंडियन फिशरमैन जो कि गलती से बाउंड्री पार कर देते थे. ठीक है, तो वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा क्लैश का कॉज हुआ था हमारे बीच में. Moving on, in 2021, Sri Lanka declared a state of economic emergency. तो 2021 में यानी कि almost 2 साल पहले श्रीलंका में एक economic emergency का ऐलान हो गया था. Facing an economic crisis due to several factors such as the negative impact of pandemic on tourism. Now, श्रीलंका एंड मालदीव्स, हमने मालदीव्स की भी बात करी थी. ये दो कंट्रीज जो है इनका नेशनल रेवेन्यू जो है पूरे टूरिज्म पर डिपेंड करता है. ठीक है, अब जब कोविड पेंडेमिक हुआ तो टूरिज्म जो है श्रीलंका में वो पूरी तरीके से बंद हो चुका था बिकॉज ऑफ द रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. इसके कारण क्या हुआ, वहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक इमरजेंसी लानी पड़ी क्योंकि रेवेन्यू बहुत ज़्यादा नेशन का डाउन हो चुका था. अब विच इज़ वन ऑफ द मेजर रेवेन्यू सोर्सेज? ओके, a complete switch to organic farming affected the agricultural exports, which is another major source of revenue. श्रीलंका ने एकदम से पूरा कंप्लीट स्विच कर लिया था ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की तरफ, जिससे बहुत सारे एक्सपोर्ट्स को भी हार्म हुआ. नाउ अब इंडिया ने इसमें क्या किया? इंडिया इज हेल्पिंग श्रीलंका इन दिस सिचुएशन. टिल नाउ इंडिया गेव $4 billion इन लोन्स, स्वैप्स एंड एड एंड इज विलिंग टू हेल्प मोर. So despite of all the clashes and the Chinese involvement, India is still ready and is helping Sri Lanka so much. $4 billion का उसने आज तक श्रीलंका को मदद कर दिया है. किसने? हमारे नेशन ने. Then India's help to Sri Lanka improved the relations between India and Sri Lanka. So now we all know a friend in need is a friend indeed. So Sri Lanka was in need and India lent a helping hand towards Sri Lanka with all the money and all the aids. And Sri Lanka's situation and Sri Lanka's relation with India has improved from there on. Now moving to the conclusion of India's and Sri Lanka's relation, India is supporting Sri Lanka in its economic recovery. This has improved India-Sri Lanka relations. Better transport facilities between the countries and improved trade and cultural relations will further improve the relations between both the countries. Okay, so that was the conclusion of the India and Sri Lanka relation. Thank you all for watching. Be connected and Jai Hind.